Hey, Coach Chris, coming to you from the red chair. A lot of you say, "Hey, what is the red chair? What is this thing? This thing that you're sitting in?" It is a place for me to go every day to sit, contemplate, to think about, read, meditate, pray. It's just where I take my red chair experience and I read it. As you can see, the red chair is the red. It's the same thing, right? It's my place to go and just relax and kind of get my head straight, to get myself out of my own way and my own thinking. And so this is the place that I like to go. So as I said before, I'm doing this series now on this journey that I'm going on, and I want to take you along with me. And so what that looks like and what that means is simply this: as I'm going about my day, I'm finding, or my week, I'm finding that I'm having these experiences that I get the opportunity to learn from and I get to see. So one of the things that kind of struck me this week as I was going and talking with customers and clients and friends, what I found is that there's this thing called ego, right? And our ego is a good and a bad thing, right? It's this piece of us that subconsciously protects us, good and bad. It protects us from getting hurt, and it protects us from being real. It protects us from, and I say protect in a really kind of twisted way, right? Because do we need to be protected from being real or being honest or being who we really are? I don't think so. I think that we get in our way sometimes and we think that, oh gosh, I don't want to be real because that's being too vulnerable and I could get hurt. That's a bunch of crap. Let's be honest. And I used to think that way in my 20s and 30s. When I look back on this person that I was, right, this young man that I was, and the ego that I had, and what that looked like. And I can easily look back at it now and go, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And what in the world was happening, right? But it was there because I wasn't taught how to be real with my emotions. I wasn't taught how to be open about how I felt and what was going on. And as a result, there was this disconnect, right? So the emotional side of things just kind of gets left to the back burner, and you protect yourself with this ego. And that's where I was, right? I was this person. So as I'm having a conversation this week, I realize that as I'm having this coaching situation going on, and this teachable moment, and what I realized is that I'm helping this person, or at least I think I'm helping this person, to come to an idea and understanding of how they could improve and how they could be better and what could be different in their life, right? And in their business, and what they could do to be a more, I guess, improved part of their business. And what I found was that they kept saying things like, oh, I already know that. Oh yeah, I normally do that. There was a scripting that we were working on, I said, you might want to try this. And he goes, oh yeah, I do that all the time. And I'm laughing because I am that person. I was that person, right? And we can be that person. And what I found was I was getting frustrated with what I thought was the person, but it wasn't. It wasn't the person that I was frustrated with. It was the ego, right? It's the old separate the sin from the sinner, right? If you understand that phrase, basically it's that ego, that subconscious part of this individual, this guy that was getting in his way and preventing him from being who he really could be and who he wanted to be. We all want to be a better person. We all want to take that next step. We want to be better to our fellow humans, right? We want to be better to our kids, to our spouses, to our significant others, right? To those family members that we love. Sometimes we just get in our own way, and they see through it. We see through it when they're doing it with us. If my kids act a certain way, I can see past the ego. And with this guy, same thing was happening. And I tried to look past the ego. I tried to look past that frustrating piece, right, that I was dealing with. And I shared with others that were involved with this individual. I said, here's my recommendation because of the relationship that you have. Help him to become this better person by doing this, 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 and this. Now, whether or not that happens it's a totally different story, but we all get the opportunity, right? We all have the chance to help people to be better people, right? And so as I've gone through my red chair experience, and I continue to go through it, I find that I get to be a better person because every day I want to learn how to be different. Doesn't mean that my ego doesn't get in the way. It doesn't mean that I don't have these battles with my inner voice that tells me how to do things and how to act and how to be around certain people. I mean, it's even this. I mean, the fact that I'm sitting in front of a video, right, and I'm having this conversation with a video. Shame on you, Michael. We should be sitting together having this conversation. I'm calling out Michael, my buddy, but I think about these conversations that I love to have these talks where we get to develop and we get to understand a little bit deeper who we can be and who we are and how we can be better. And so I want to look at this as a conversation. I want to view this as a conversation that we get to have, that you and my audience and I get to have. So whether your name is Sam or Tim or Joey or Samantha or Trina or Michael or Eric or Jonathan, doesn't matter. Let's have the conversation. This is where we get to learn. This is where we get to be real and honest. And as I'm going through this journey, as I'm learning these things and I'm seeing them, and I know I keep calling it a journey, but it's just life. We all get handed life and we get to choose how we deal with it and how we work with it and how it kind of comes out in the end, right? We've all heard that life happens to you and 90% of it is how you deal with it. And so life's going to happen. Situations are going to come up. You're going to get the opportunity again and again and again to let your ego speak on your behalf. Question is how will you handle it? What are you going to do differently? What would you want it to look like? How do you want that to happen? You know, when I sat down and I wrote the Red Chair Experience, it was an opportunity for me to be real, to be honest about who I was and where I was at. And I struggled with it. Writing the book was therapeutic and cathartic. And what a journey it's been. But taking that journey and taking that book and kind of peeling it back a little by little, right? Now I get the opportunity to continue to read this and grow and learn from it. This is like a lot of other books that I read on a daily basis. It's taken in that vein, right? So it's something that I can learn from. And I hope that you can too. You get the opportunity to check it out. And we can have conversations and we get to have these deeper, meaningful conversations. It was kind of cool. I was talking to somebody the other day, CEO of a company, and she was talking about how she uses this book, my Red Chair Experience book, as a daily read for her team. It's a book club, if you will, and they do it for they're doing it for a month, but every day they're reading it and they're discussing it, and they are talking about. One of the things she said was really, really cool. She said, I get to see the vulnerability of my employees. I get to see the real things. And she doesn't share what she's thinking initially because too often our ego, right? I'm a leader, I'm a manager, I'm the owner, I'm the CEO. Our ego can get in the way, right? And what does that do to our employees? It prevents them from being real, from having the conversation, from opening up about their life and what's happening with them and what they, what they hope for or what they dream for. Ego can be a good thing. Ego can also be a bad thing. And the question is what are you going to do with it? So that's my rant for today. That's my opportunity to speak to you. As I said, this is going to be a regular series that I'm working on, and hopefully you'll join me on the journey and we'll have a lot of fun. And I'm going to get used to talking to this computer and this video and putting this out there. And hopefully we'll have some fun trying to figure it all out on together. So hope you have a great week and we'll talk to you next time.